and Laramie Freeney in row 4, and Jaden Rogers sitting back there in the 9th spot, making up heat race number 59 overall here on the day.
Be interested to see if Jace McIntosh makes it out. He's the one that had the wreck earlier and the frame was bent in the Outlaw non-wing division. I don't see his car, 51, so we'll call him a scratch on this one. That'll just move Jaden Rogers up 1 row. We're going to spread our cars out and have them roll in a little bit of moisture that was put down on the track. That's a great look at the cushion through 1 and 2, how close it is to the wall and how tall it is. I mean, that's halfway or more up these guys' right rear tire.
It's crazy where it started and now where it is. You know?
Yeah, that's really, really tricky to run. When you have these small, 10-inch tires, it's you got to be really careful with that.
We were talking about Zeb Wise a little bit earlier in the 410 sprint car experience, helping him as you're transitioning back into a micro sprint and a small car. How much of a difference are you experiencing, not just going from the speed, but going from a driveline style car to a chain driven style car?
I think the the better technology gets, the more similar it is, but definitely different with a chain driven car. You don't have that left rear slip underneath your car like you do with the driveline and a sprint car. You always kind of just feel sat on the left rear with the chain. So there's just a few little differences like that make it different from a micro to sprint car. But we're going to toss on up to Connor Wade.
Well, Kyle Spence is one of just a couple drivers to have won two heat races on today so far. Kyle, what's made you so comfortable here today?
For one, it's my own car, so and pretty much any hyper's about the same. Jason Brown, my dad, gave me a great car. JP Racing, I can't thank them enough for letting me come out here again. Just pretty fortunate that, I just been able to get out to the lead there and hold off Beeson. He got under me right before that yellow there, and I knew he was going to be the toughest one in that, and I just kind of defend myself around the bottom where he was at.
Kyle Spence's Tulsa Shootout is off to a pretty hot start. Back to you, Caleb.
Sure is. You saw it out of him last year, too, as he just piles up heat race wins. That's what Kyle does. Helps him get his way towards Drillers as Tyler Davenport leads early in this one. Keith McIntyre Jr. and Taylor Nielsen out there. Looks like McIntosh and Laramie Freeney both scratched from this race. So for the McIntosh and Freeney fan clubs, sorry.
That's Jaden Rogers trying to roll a middle groove around Connor Lee. Pulled side by side, ahead down the backstretch now. Moves it up to the full top shelf. Trying to get a run on Taylor Nielsen.
That's a spot. Lot of car speed out of the red and white 73 of Rogers. He is third, and he is coming. Eyeballing Keith McIntyre Jr. The gap the last time by was .536. We'll see how well Rogers can suck that up coming into turns 3 and 4. Just beyond halfway in this heat race, the advantage down to .464. Got to make a little more ground than that. 1H of Lee, 17 of Nielsen. So you're watching here on Flow Racing.
Rogers is making some real hay right now as he just closed into the back bumper there of McIntyre Jr. He's going to try to keep it wound up. McIntyre Jr. just gets a little bit better of a run off 3 and 4, but here in 1 and 2 is where Rogers picks up a head of steam going into 3.
Rogers had cut it down to .267. This time, high side to the checkered. And hanging on to it is McIntyre as Davenport wins. McIntyre 2, Rogers 3, lead Nielsen, Doherty, and Keeney of the cars that finish. So Davenport from the outside of the front row, 105 points for him. As we have 6 heat races left here in the Outlaw Wing Division, understand we have been communicated that we will have a break coming up after the Outlaw Wing heat races and before the modified 600 divisions, of which I still need to get me one of those so we can have the team broadcaster car. Be the Team Flow Racing Modified, right?
Yeah.
Mini Mod. As Chris Hinkle and Skylar Rhodes on the front row, Joey Amantia and Mickey Bullock, Gunnar Setzer, Ty Holsey, Cody Barnes, Sheldon Creed, and Ryan Timms making up 9-car, 8-lap field. Timms starting 9th is going to be fun to watch from back there.
Yeah, we already watched him with 1 heat race earlier today. he started up front. Now he's going to have to work a little harder for this one if he wants to win it. But definitely somebody who can get the job done.
A lot of guys in this race can get the job done. It's going to be fun. They are getting more aggressive with the watering in between races, more than just one groove, high, low, and putting a little more down as they're trying to keep the track as good as they can before we get this little break to rework, redo. They're lined up and ready to go. Off the corner. And let's let them loose. Chris Hinkle leads them down. Did the 3-car in problems. Outside row number 1, that was Skylar Rhodes, who just did not launch. So Hinkle will lead as the start stands. Rhodes having problems as he's dropped way back.
Sheldon Creed running a really good line on the top side, following Ryan Timms, trying to make some way through slower traffic, but battle right there. Look at Ryan Timms go back to the bottom. Sheldon Creed in that 74 is going to get right up to the back bumper, try to get up underneath him here.
Look at your leader, Hinkle. Mantia's second, Setzer third. Man, Hinkle's good out there. I don't know if that's a function of the guys in behind him, but he is making some really nice laps. Lap time's the low 12-second bracket.
Yeah, Joey Amatea is he's backing up his entry just a little bit, trying to keep that car pointed in the right direction, running the bottom, but it's costing him so much time to your leader.
Chris Bullock's 8B, Ryan Timms, Barnes in the 8. Juicy Creed take a move. Ty Holsey down low trying to get involved. Timms, high side around 1 and 2. He's got the spot. Back after Barnes. Time running out. White flag is out this time around. You'll watch Hinkle get the win by a country mile to the checkered flag. Second, Amantia. Bullock 3, Setzer 4. Barnes back to 5th. Timms, Creed, Holsey, and Rhodes.
After the checkered, Ryan Timms gives a little love tap to Cody Barnes. Leaves Cody Barnes parked over in turn 1. And I think Connor Wade's got someone up top for us.
That Tyler Davenport, we saw him not too long ago pick up a Winged Outlaw heat race win. Tyler, we're kind of on the downhill slide here in heat races. At this point in the day, what's the track surface like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good on the top, but I never went to the top. I mean, I tried to just roll the bottom. I missed the bottom some, but I mean, you can't think of the track right now. You just gotta just fight and choose where you're gonna go, and just see where the fast line is at that point, and just make a move from there. Because I mean, the track's pretty fast on the bottom and the top. You're just gonna have to make a move where a car isn't. So, pretty happy we started the week off strong, and gotta keep it up in 8 class and see if we can come back here and get another first place in.
That's Tyler Davenport. We'll go back down to Caleb Hall.
Mitchell Moles on the pole of this one. He's going to be fighting up front with the 122 of Lane Warner. Moles to the high side. You got the pole, you got to win it. There are no style points in it, but it would help if you look impressive.
Moles knew exactly where he wanted to go on that start. He knew the top was the place to be, and that's where he was going.
Cortland Stevens is in the 1K. Colby Sokol is in the 24S, who runs 4th. Then you've got, I believe, Chris Carroll in the 36K.
Yeah, Chris is one of the few just running the top here, trying to go where they're not, as we always say, and right now making some good progress up to the 5th position.
Justin Robinson, the 19J. Paige Moss, the 95. Robert Tittebach in the 6, and Chad Stevens in 13C.
It's halfway. Carroll with a big slider on Sokol. That's for your 4th position.
Nice crossover by Sokol, getting back to the bottom and making Carroll go right back up to the top and earn it.
Big move by Carroll to circle him. Can he do it one more time? That should be enough to drive away.
Look how much gap he opened up, just the sheer car speed he had on Sokol coming off of turn 2 there. So Carroll up into 4th, now with Stevens half a straightaway away from him and 2 laps left to go. Mitchell Moles in the Joe Speed Shop sponsored car. I know those guys. make their way off of 4, and Moles impressive in getting the heat race win. Second to Warner, third Stevens going to keep Carroll way at bay. Then Sokol, Moss, Robinson, Tideback, and Stevens. Four heat races left to go here in the Outlaw Wing Division, as we are ready for another update up top of Joe's Racing Products Pit Report from Connor Wade.
Well, he's a California native here in the state of Oklahoma. Chris Hinkle bringing home a heat race win. Chris, tell us how you got it done.
Oh, well, a huge thank you to Bailey Chassis. I've been out of the seat a while, and this thing's fast right out of the box. Huge thank you to Tim Engler. I don't think I've ever had injection that takes off like that thing. So we're in good shape now to put ourselves in a qualifier tomorrow.
That's Chris Hinkle. Back to you, Caleb.
Welcome you guys in to coverage of the 36th annual Lucas Oil Tulsa Shootout. We have got live event coverage here on Flow Racing, brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, a gigantic supporter of all kinds of racing, open wheel and the like, all across the world. A big thank you to Lucas Oil Products for helping us bring you the 36th annual Tulsa Shootout. Elizabeth Phillips is on the pole for our 62nd heat race of the day. Kenny Miller III next to Elizabeth. Brendan Bright and Joshua Hewish in the second row. Ryan Sullivan, Noah Harris in the third row. Mason Kiefer, Trey Gropp in the fourth row. And Kurt Westerfield from Belleville, Illinois is tail end Charlie. Down to 4 to go. There's a couple of big names we still haven't seen. That Bacon guy, that Bell guy. They happen to be in the same heat race coming up after just a little bit.
Axum. Yeah, quite a few heavy hitters here still, as we'll go back upstairs to Connor Wade.
Thank you. We got Mitchell Moles over here picking up a heat race win. And Mitchell, do you feel like you got a car capable enough of remaining a contender throughout the qualifiers?
Yeah, no, these guys at Tinjay, they give me an awesome race car. Adams Performance, FK Shocks, Joe's Racing Products. These guys all just give us a hell of a race car to race with, and can't thank those guys enough. Dennis Guile, he's my man behind the counter. Nobody sees, nobody hears, but that's my guy, and I just like to thank all those guys. I think we'll be really good. We just got to get back a little more and get into some qualifiers where we can pass some cars.
That's Mitchell Moles. We'll go back down to Kayla.
From Raisin City, California, Mitchell Moles. If I've got my math right, he is darn near or over 100 wins in a micro in the last 2 years. That's Flood-esque.
Yeah, that's very good.
And especially in California, where it is tough swimming sometimes.
That's Trey Gropp stopped over in turn number 1. Gonna need a push potentially.
Gropp, that is a brand new first run car 2020 from the CS9 camp. I love the wrap on it. It's pretty sharp looking ride.
Trey made some midget appearances for Power Eye as well as USAC this season, Mounts Motorsports.
Yeah, eventually he went to the Reynolds Ruzick team. And a few starts late in the season for them is he's not going to make a start here.
Flea's got to be watching from somewhere, right?
He's probably welding on something.
Yeah. Watching and welding.
So we'll get him going off the front row. Elizabeth Phillips leads him down. Kenny Miller outside. Miller the third, in fact. And quickly to the bottom goes Miller, trying to get by Phillips. Gets a little love tap for his efforts, but holds her down and has your early lead. Miller, Phillips, and Bright, 1 through 3. Sullivan 4, Kiefer 5. As Miller just steady around the bottom of the racetrack here.
Oh, Brendan Bright made a huge mistake, got real loose on the top shelf in 1 and 2, lost a bunch of time as Phillips starts to pull away. That brings in Ryan Sullivan. Mason Kiefer also in the picture.
This last little track watering actually made a pretty big difference as Miller with a lap down in the 11s. Haven't seen a lot of 11s here in the last little run. 11.804. In fact, he's still 11.9, and the guys behind him in Phillips and Bright also 11.9. So track picked up a little bit of speed after that last watering session.
And one has gone kaboom to the infield. I believe that was
Noah Harris.
Yeah, Noah Harris.
Well, Miller coming to the white flag, enjoying over 2.5 seconds worth of space between himself. As you can see up on the Hyper Racing banner at the moment on Flow. Checkered flag coming, and Kenny Miller, super impressive here. Driver out of Morgantown, Pennsylvania gets the victory, and we'll move on to the qualifiers. Other than a little love tap from Wright in the early going, that was as clean as it gets. Miller with victory, Phillips, Bright, Kiefer, Sullivan, Westerfield, and Hewish all finish, Harris DNF, and Grop DNS. 3 to go. Again, it has stayed relatively